passionate and compassionate advocate. And I won't go on more than that. Please welcome Sara Haghighi.
Hi everyone. My name is Sara Haghighi. I was born and raised in Iran in a Baha'i family, a religious minority that isn't recognized by the Iranian government. And consequently, I was subjected to many discriminations and threats of persecution. It took me years to get to the point where enough was enough. Eventually, I left my country in pursuit of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and a hope to receive higher education with no fear of being accused of committing a crime. It was not legal in Iran for Baha'is to receive higher education. So I attended an underground university established by the Baha'i community. In time, I ended up in Turkey, where I spent years in asylum. Even a beautiful place like Turkey can feel like a cage when you're stuck in limbo, not knowing when or if the waiting would ever end. Eventually, after numerous interviews, retelling and reliving my story again and again, each time digging into the wounds that I hoped I could heal someday, I was granted official refugee status. I could now be considered for resettlement in a third country. But more months passed, more rigorous background checks, more silence. And over time, I started to lose hope. I felt stuck, invisible. And then one day, my phone rang. It was the US Embassy. I didn't get to choose where I would go. I was sent to Southern California. Southern California is stunning, but when you're a newly arrived refugee with $45 in your pocket, beauty feels far away. I got a $500 welcome check, and I was enrolled in a program where I would receive $70 in food stamps and $120 in monthly cash assistance for 3 months. And I owed $1,200 to the International Organization for Migration for the very plane ticket that brought me here. So yes, I began my life in the US, already in significant debt. I didn't have a car. I didn't know the city. And in the heat of Southern California, I walked for hours to get my social security number, state ID, work authorization card, everything I needed just to survive. Finding a job was its own battle. I didn't have work history in the US, and nobody seemed to care about what I had done in other countries or what I had studied. After dozens of rejections, a manager at a TJ Maxx store finally took a chance on me. I'll never forget that. But I had a bigger dream. I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to teach, especially English, to those other immigrants and refugees who came to the US with a hope of a brighter future. And that's what I did. It wasn't easy. There were tears of frustration. There were days that I doubted myself. But I kept going. And now I work as an educator with newcomers who, like me, came here searching for safety, dignity, and the chance to build a life. In 2020, I moved to Tucson, and right away I felt something different. I felt like this was a town that I could call home. And since then, I've talked to a lot of newly arrived refugees, and many of them ask me, "Do you like it here?" And my answer is always yes, but it's not just me. I've heard the same thing from many other immigrants and refugees. So it got me thinking, why is Tucson such a good place for people like us? One reason is that Tucson has a strong culture of inclusion and hospitality. In 2012, the City Council passed a resolution declaring Tucson an immigrant welcoming city. That means the city made a promise to respect the dignity of all people, no matter their origin or status. Tucson is a city that Tucson's already diverse. People here are used to being around other cultures,
we are going to have
languages,
one more storyteller
and traditions. In fact, if someone's not open to diversity, they're the one who don't fit in. Here, being different is normal. And that makes it easier for immigrants and refugees to feel accepted. The mayor, the city council, even the police have shown that they care about immigrant and refugee communities. Tucson police have said clearly that their job is to protect the community, not to enforce federal immigration laws. That builds trust. Tucson is a city that celebrates many cultures through different festivals and culinary opportunities. We have a large Latinx population, a well-established Native American presence, and growing communities from Africa, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Central and South America. In fact, Tucson is one of the only 2 cities in Arizona that host an annual World Refugee Day celebration. Tucson also offers other great benefits, like free public libraries and easy access to nearby national parks. This is especially meaningful for those of us who carry trauma or simply need quiet time to reflect. And behind the scenes, local organizations are doing incredible work to support newcomers. Groups like Iskashitaa Refugee Network, Owl and Panther, Literacy Connects, Tucson Afghan Community, Muslim Community Alliance, and Tucson Refugee Ministry help people find jobs, learn English, express themselves through art, and connect with others. Living in Tucson is affordable. Compared to larger cities, rent and other costs are lower, which helps those families who are just starting over. The public transportation system, SunTran, is free and helps people get to work, school, and appointments. Education is open to everyone, no matter your educational background. Adult education programs offer English classes and a pathway to college and career. Pima Community College and the University of Arizona offer more affordable paths to higher education. And finally, Tucson is an artistic city. You'll see many immigrant or refugee-inspired art around town. And And if you want to display your art, whether it's painting, music, or poetry, there are many places here where you can share your art and tell your story. So when people ask me why I like Tucson so much, I say this: Tucson is not just a place where we live, it is a place where we belong.